In 1637, a single tulip bulb cost more than a house in Amsterdam, and people were lining up to buy them. Let's examine how it happened, how it affected the economy, and what we can learn from it today. Press that notification bell, subscribe, and let's get into it. So, picture 17th century Europe. The Dutch Republic was famous for its prosperous trade. The people were getting richer, and as it usually happens, they started investing in things that reflected their rising social status, like tulips. Originally brought in from the Ottoman Empire, the most beautiful tulips were rare and hard to get, so everyone wanted them. This made them exclusive and expensive. A lot of people saw that as an opportunity. Buy a flower and sell it later at 1,000% profit. So speculation started. People were buying tulip bulbs just to sell them later at a higher price. This drove tulip prices through the roof. No one wanted to be left behind without getting in on the profit too. So they bought them more and more, and this tulip buying frenzy quickly turned into a nationwide cycle of price escalation. Now, imagine yourself walking through a market, and suddenly you see a flower on display that costs $100,000. You'd be like, what the heck? That could buy a whole house in most countries in the world. But that's really just how expensive those tulips ended up being in just 3 years. And that shows just how far the market had departed from reality back then. How did this economic bubble evolve? Imagine a simple Dutch trader, not an online trader like you or me using a slick, nice platform, but one who actually buys and sells food and commodities. He sees a guy next door just sold a tulip bulb and bought a horse. Now he wants that too. So now he goes to get a few bulbs himself, advising all his relatives to do the same. And then they all go to get a few bulbs themselves, along with everyone else in town. Before you know it, the entire country gets mad about tulips. This is basically how all economic bubbles grow. One day a tulip is just a flower, and the next it's a financial instrument, and the price keeps growing on wild speculation. But then there is a tipping point. Back then, someone must have looked at those flowers and thought, man, is that for real? A tulip bulb for the price of a mansion? Hell no! So the panic started. No one wanted those tulips anymore. Not at that price anyway. Everyone was just trying to sell them off. It was like tulip mania, but reversed. More like tulip phobia. I'm selling my bulb, you're selling yours, and everyone you know are just trying to sell them off. The tulip prices plunged, erasing 95% of the price value. Those who owned tulips, thinking they had a fortune, turned up empty-handed. Those who made future contracts based on tulip prices lost their deals. The entire tulip market sector was obliterated. But to be fair, this tulip mania and its collapse wasn't a nationwide tragedy for the Dutch Republic like the Great Depression was for the US and the world. Those tulips, as popular as they were, at the end of the day, were just a trendy thing among market speculators. So, when their bubble burst, the economy didn't suffer that much. Since then though, tulip mania came to symbolize irrational market forces. What can we learn from all this? A few things. Don't buy just because the price is going up. Don't confuse hype with genuine value. Don't let FOMO lure you into false trade decisions. And always have a backup plan if the market doesn't go your way. Now, I said earlier that this is basically how all economic bubbles grow. I don't mean that the dot-com bubble, the US housing market bubble, and all other financial bubbles are exactly the same. Rather, they tend to follow similar patterns. Understanding them may be helpful in spotting a market collapse before it happens and keeping your money safe. Which financial instrument do you think could trigger a modern-day tulip mania? Share in the comments, and in the meantime, watch these videos to get practical lessons from the biggest economic collapses in history. See you.
Olymptrade. Care that counts.